Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Sanat Method. My name is Sanat. I'm 23, I'm a dentist, I run multiple businesses, and I make these videos to spread the wisdom that I already am in my community, the Sanat Method community, which is for young, successful South Asian men to help improve themselves across all areas of life. Now, one of the most requested questions recently, topics to discuss, is how to not give a fuck. Excuse my language. How to not give a fuck about anything, how to stop caring about what people think and to just do you. I feel like in the UK and in a lot of other countries, this question was raised by a gentleman in Australia and another one in Spain as well. There is a bit of a negative culture. I guess maybe it's everywhere. There's a bit of a negative culture about doing your own thing. Now, if you remember the US back in the day, everyone was, trying out different things. You know, you see it in the movies, and I guess that's somewhat what it was like in real life in the 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever. Nowadays, as soon as you do something different, people are so quick to judge you, be negative about it, etc. Let's just break things down for a second. When someone is negative towards you, they are actively giving you negative energy, right? It sounds so obvious, but I'll explain something. I'm very happy and very content with what's going on in my life. And most importantly, I'm very grateful. I don't have a reason to spread negative energy just like that. So for me to do that, I don't know, it's unheard of. But if someone else is doing that, they're very likely unhappy in their life. Why would you go around spreading negative energy? There's just more important things to be focused on. Life is so beautiful, but people don't view it like that. Not everyone does, and that's okay. So first of all, you must filter out who the energy is from. Now, people are going to hate regardless. I get hate on my social media, and I get a lot of positive interactions too. Filter out the people who you're getting hate from. See if you actually respect their opinion. Often, you might not. Now, if you're getting hate from someone close to you, I would again question the same thing. Why are they hating upon you? And the last thing I would ask you to think about is whether is it hate or is it positive criticism? Why should you care about what people have to think? I love doing new things. And at university, I've been trying to do that for a long time. I was in university for 5 years, dentistry, and I was at King's College London. I wanted to try a lot of different things, and at the beginning, I didn't find anyone to do this with. Even gym. There wasn't actually many people that wanted to gym when I started, in my first year. The people that weren't very consistent. They weren't on the same level I was because I was really engrossed with it. And that's fine. It's not something to judge about. But I had to do it myself anyways. I had to quit social settings, meetups and whatever, because I wanted to hit the gym. Fine. After I started hitting the gym, getting into shape, it was like, what's the next step? Well, I wanted to try different activities. I wanted to go to all the societies as much as I could. I went to salsa. Who wanted to do salsa? I'm a brown dude. Who's doing salsa that's brown? Now maybe it's more common, but I'm talking about 5 years ago or 4 years ago. Did anyways. I kept thinking, what are people going to say? But I then realized that people are going to be talking either way. If you're so worried about what people are going to say before you do the action's not done. Do you see what I mean? You're so worried about something that may or may not happen. What if you do the action and see how bad the consequences are? And that's kind of the way I target my life now. I tackle my life, I should say. How bad is it really going to be? Oh, is someone going to say something? I make social media content. Some of that could be controversial. If I say I like this, I say I like red, someone else says they like blue. Okay, well, now what? Are we at a standstill? You see, you're meant to have opinions. You're meant to do things that you believe in. Especially as a man, a lot of my content is tailored towards young men, as my community is, right? Especially as a man, you need to stand for something. And how are you going to stand for something without having an opinion? An opinion and then followed by an action, I guess. Someone might say, oh, look, I like baseball. I don't know who's playing baseball in the UK. But you then start going to the baseball practice. You see, what I'm trying to say is do the action and then worried about what's going to happen rather than the other way around. And the biggest thing people get worried about is posting social media content. Now, I've got millions of views across my Instagram and other forms of social media. Yes, I could have sat there and cared about what someone's going to think. And I still remember the first time I had a video hit, like, was it 1-2 million views? I sat there. I was in a coffee shop in Soho, and I was with my best mate. And he had like 100,000 followers at the time. And I was like, dude, I want to post this, but I don't know. And he was like, yeah, you should. And that was my first ever video. That was Brown Boy in Colombia, when I did a trip to Colombia and whatever. And I was just dancing some salsa. And I was like, oh, what are people going to think? What's my mom going to think? Da-da-da-da-da. Often it's in our heads. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. All I did was dance salsa with a couple of people. You see, we're so worried about what's going to happen that we don't even do the action. And if you're going to think like that, then think about this. Person A, aka you, who hasn't done the action, versus person B, aka me, who has. Compare in a month's time. If you wanted to grow on social media, you didn't post it, I posted it, look where I am now. And that effect just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking. And all of a sudden you're left behind. Time is so limited and you're too worried about things. You're too busy in your head not taking action. A lot of this advice, you think, well, I've heard this before, whatever. Yes, you have. There's an information overload out there. Often, a lot of the right advice is already out there. But again, did you take action on it? No. Sometimes you need someone to tell you that, and hopefully this is the person that you need, aka me. I'm telling you this, and maybe it's the next YouTube video you watch. I don't know. All I know is the longer you stay there not taking action, the more time there is for the person next to you, who I guess you're competing with, to take action and get ahead. It's a competitive world. Now, the next thing is, I'm gonna have to edit this bit. Now, the next thing is, well, I guess being controversial, right? You do something that's different to your friends, you're being controversial towards them. They want to all party and drink, and you don't want to do that. You want to go to the gym. Oh no. One of the members in my community, actually, he came to me saying that. He said he had a bit of an alcohol issue going on. He'd meet with his friends, they would smoke weed, they would drink at least 2 times of each a week. It's not healthy. But that was his social circle. So by doing something different, he now has no social circle. What should I do? Well, let's think. Would you rather be around bad company or no company? Because I'd pick no company any day of the week. And I have been around bad company plenty of times even. Not recently, but I went bad company, then no company, and then great company. But you have to be able to be alone for a bit, you know? You got to stick by what you think is important. What matters to you? You've heard the term get rich or die trying. 50 Cent, right? It's not always about getting rich, but it's whatever you believe in. For me, it was, I'm going to get fit, and that's the only way. I'm just going to keep taking action. Eventually, I got there. Okay, I want to make this Instagram work. Eventually, I got there. The belief is eventually I will get there. I just don't know how long it will take. Partly up to me, partly up to luck/God. So, point being is, take action. And the last thing I'm going to say is, wherever you want to take your life towards, whatever direction that is, start now. Because I've seen plenty of people that just get old, they get trapped in jobs, and then they want to change, but they're miserable. You have a chance now. This video has come across your page for a reason. Take the chance now to change your life before it gets to a point where you can't. All right? Anyways, anything else you want me to discuss, drop a message below. Try and drop wisdom on these calls. Most of the wisdom does come from what we talk about on the Sanat Method community, but I try and make these videos to share what I can to help as many people as I can. See you on the next one.